Welcome to the Nano podcast. I'm your host, Will Chernlin, and I'm excited to have you join me on this journey through the world of nano companies. For the past decade, I've talked to thousands of business owners across various industries. It's been an enlightening experience revealing the vast tapestries of entrepreneurship and innovation that thrives beneath the surface of mainstream media coverage. Each week, I will interview different leaders of nano-cap publicly traded companies to learn about their history, what they do now, and their future. As a reminder, none of this information is financial advice, and it is all for entertainment purposes only. Let's start this week's episode. Hi, everyone. This week we have Alex McDougall, the CEO of FUTR Corp, stock ticker FTRCF. The FUTR Corporation is a Canadian technology company developing and integrating AI data infrastructure platform that enables individuals to securely manage, control, and derive financial value from their personal information in a secure and safe fashion. Alex, thank you so much for coming on the show.
No problem, Will. Thanks for having me. It's a very exciting time in the agent and personal data space right now.
100%. So I start with everyone with kind of going back in their LinkedIn, and it looks like you had kind of a traditional investment banking background before you dove into the startups, first kind of working with like payment rails before this. What made you want to do the jump? What made you want to go from working with these like Fortune 100 multinational companies to something a little smaller? What culturally did you like about it? And just tell me a little bit more about kind of your background before this.
Awesome. Yes. In the big bastion of shiny traditional finance and investment banking, doing mergers and acquisitions. And then we actually started a little fintech digital asset team within the bank I was working with, which it was right at the time the first sort of wave of mainstream digital assets was taking off in 2017. And just really fell down the rabbit hole of this idea of being able to hold, own, and control, kind of put yourself in your own destiny and have self-sovereignty over your money and your assets. And so I ended up leaving banking in 2017, right at the start of 2018, to start a venture fund. I sort of focused at the intersection of, well, if I'm going to be able to have control of my assets and all of this is going to happen at machine speed, we're going to need some machine speed technology and machine speed intelligence in order to pull all these together. So it was really around the intersection of blockchain and AI. So invested in a whole bunch of technology projects back then. AI, very different technology then. Blockchain, very different technology then as well. And really fell deep down the rabbit hole of combining those two and bringing your data into one place that you own and control and is actually working for you. Ended up selling that in 2020 to a larger digital asset management company. Still kept the focus on the value transfer aspect of blockchain. So worked with and founded a stablecoin company called Canada Stable Corp. I'm the first regulated and largest stablecoin issuer in Canada, but had always had that deep nurturing passion for this idea of bringing data on chain and really putting users in control. And as AI really started to take off again through 2024 and through 2025, it became a perfect opportunity to found and join the FUTR Corporation and bring this all to life.
So I got to ask just a quick follow-up. So the Canadian Stable Corp, was that stablecoins based on the Canadian dollar or the US dollar?
Yeah, so based on the Canadian dollar and really around sort of an FX thesis where the US dollar stablecoin has been extremely valuable, but all of that value really translates into other countries as well. But you're going to need to connect it to those big value centers like a US dollar stablecoin. So we work closely with Circle around sort of on-chain FX. We work closely with Coinbase still as well on that side. I'm still a capital markets advisor to the company. So yes, it's a Canadian dollar stablecoin, really trying to expand the value of US dollar stablecoins into multi-currencies.
So yeah, you talk about kind of having a background in self-sovereignty, crypto, and then AI starts taking off a few years ago. One of the things with AI is that everything is like, nothing is real. Everything needs to be verifiable. And then you also have this background in crypto where like all it is trying to verify things and proving things aren't bots and real. So when did you start kind of connecting that like AI needs crypto and crypto is a perfect use case for AI and kind of melding those two together?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was actually all the way back to the venture fund that I ran when I first left investment banking, that if you're going to have a ability to move money around based on automated things that happen in real time without that T+2, where you can get a couple of accountants in there and be like, oh no, that shouldn't have actually gone over there. You're going to need some sort of intelligence layer that runs at the same speed, and vice versa. If you're going to have these things that can think at incredibly fast rails, if they then need to rely on traditional banking systems to send money on a slow boat over to Europe, then you're wasting the power of that incredible technology. So when you marry those two up, where you have the AI level of governance for blockchain and the blockchain level of value transfer for AI, you get what is such a better consumer product at the end of it. So that's really what got me excited about it. And I love your point on what comes out of it is a bit of a black box, right? And that's one of the biggest challenges in the world today around AI hallucinations. And it's a big part of the thesis of what we're doing a little bit differently at FUTR Corporation as well, is containerizing all the data that lives underneath your own personalized AI model. So we call it high fidelity AI. That really allows you to build sort of a personalized AI model on your own batch of data, so that when you get an outcome and says, hey, you should pay your mortgage on this schedule to this bank and optimize it in this way, you can actually trace that back, and you know what the inputs are, you know how you got paid for it, you know how that data is being used and where. And you sort of have this idea of a data supply chain, which is just something that doesn't really exist in the world right now. Your data is just sort of up in the air and out there somewhere else and doing its own thing. So that idea of verification, which is, as you rightly flagged, a bit of a digital asset first concept, we're taking a huge proponent of that in the AI space as well.
I'll cut this out, but a quick aside. I keep thinking about, too, how like the White House or the Associated Press needs to get on some sort of like Getty blockchain of every time they post a photo. So that you could look at the photo record and be like, no, this is actually from the White House. There wasn't Superman at the White House today, or some sort of AI thing. Because it's like, as this becomes more and more proliferated into society, it's like everything needs to go on chain to be confirmed.
Totally.
But okay, so we've danced around it a little bit, but what does FUTR Corp do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, look, AI agents are everywhere right now, and especially in the last couple of weeks. But, even in the last few months and a year ago, they were a Y Combinator thing, something to look forward to coming down the pipe. So what FUTR is an AI agent that does three key things differently than a lot of what you've heard out there as well. First, FUTR acts on your behalf. So it's not just telling you things. It's not just answering questions. It's not Google on steroids. It's not even acting in simple things like, oh, order me food. You make sure I'm reminded for a meeting. FUTR can take your insurance policy, rip it apart, tell you what's good, what's bad based on benchmarks, and then go and work with our partners and actually find you a better policy. It can take your mortgage document, read all the clauses that you definitely didn't read when you actually signed it the first time, find all the prepayment allowances, design you a payment schedule for it, and then actually use embedded payment rails to go and make those payments for you and save you a couple $100,000 in interest. If you're a renter, FUTR, go ahead.
Just quick aside on that. Is your AI agent able to use Swift and traditional banking rails, or do you have to reinvent the wheel there?
So we have a banking as a service layer all across the United States. With a partner of ours that, again, the human's fully in control. This is not fully autonomous. Go and do your own thing, agent. But that idea of intelligence with payment rails connected, so called FUTR Payments, which again is a very simple output, it's just a simple use case for this idea of AI intelligence and agent-driven intelligence, where you can plug in your existing obligations, auto loan, home loan, anything like that. Use that to derive a better payment framework, a better payment rail, move some payments upwards, take advantage of prepayment clauses. And then we're connected with 1,500 banks in the US, and we're paying out over 900 lenders right now. We're doing that for about 45,000 users. So go ahead.
Go ahead on the next thing the FUTR Corp does.
FUTR acts on your behalf. Last one, if you're a renter, you can put in your lease, connect through your property management company, and FUTR can actually detect your rent payments and report them to Equifax. So be able to build credit and help you sort of manage and optimize your credit with unique sort of non-standard things like rent. And it can do all of that. So it can take all of these actions because of exactly what we were talking about before. FUTR protects your data. It all goes into one secure enclave, one secure container, one clean room where all of that knowledge graph and all of that personalized AI is running on. So it's not being vended into a model built for billions where you lose track of it and now it's somewhere else. Everything is yours. You get the first right of where it goes, how it gets used by the agent, and all of that side. So FUTR protects your data, which keeps it safe, and make sure you have auditable outcomes from your AI. And the third key thing, so FUTR acts, FUTR protects, and the third key thing is for every single piece of data that goes in to train this model, you're getting rewarded. So whether it's a PDF of an insurance document and pulling out all of the data from there, whether it's just you asking and engaging with the agent, whether it's a picture of a baseball card or your auto service, every piece of data that goes into this thing or connecting with an external data source, you're getting rewarded for. So we've built a really comprehensive data valuation framework that connects a wallet right into the agent, and you're actually getting paid for each piece of data that you put in. So FUTR acts, FUTR protects, and FUTR rewards you. And that's different than what else is out in the market right now.
And how do you make money? Is it a percentage of like assets under management? Is it a finder's fee for you to send them off to some car insurance person who's $200 less a month and they give you $50 for that? Or how do you make money?
Love it. Two key ways that we make money. So one, stuff that we can deliver directly. So I mentioned the payment rails before. So when we are able to ingest an auto loan and suggest a better payment framework and actually make those payments, we're saving you usually $3,000-$4,000 in interest over the life of your loan. We can charge you a transaction fee per month. So when we actually resource those users through auto dealers currently, we have 250 in the US. We just signed a deal for another 800. And so we compensate those auto dealers for bringing us users. After we pay the auto dealer, we make $9 a month US per month on each of those consumers that we're running through. That's where we have 45,000 users currently. We're starting that up in the mortgage space as well. We signed our first deal through Q4 to work with a mortgage origination platform in the US. So being able to use the services that we have, so those payment rails, the connection with Equifax to be able to report credit, where we charge sort of value add service fees to our consumers. So that's way one. Again, high margin, pretty simple, fintech on steroids, leveraging agentic intelligence to deliver better outcomes. The second way, everything I just described develops and generates incredible data. And this is really where some of the magic of the platform is. All of this data profile, again, is yours. It's in your container. It's running the personalized AI on it. So when you want to say, hey, all right, I put my insurance in here, is this good? Or when you want to, hey, I've been paying my car on this framework or on this plan for 3 months. Is it time to refinance this? Is my car about to fall off a cliff in value? Is it time to go and refi this? Those sort of are the most valuable lead gen in the entire industry. And you're starting to see a massive amount of commerce shift to this agentically driven commerce. So a week ago or so, the first insurance company started working and delivering quotes through ChatGPT. $30 billion of market cap got wiped out from the insurance brokers around the world. Like, this is happening. And so the way, again, that a lot of companies would monetize that is, okay, user, here's your insurance quote. Thank you very much. And okay, insurance company, you pay me. I'm going to clip that and away I go. The way that we do it is quite a bit different because we're really trying to bring the user into the value chain. We take a commission, but the majority of that revenue from the brands that are engaging with that data and engaging with that leads actually flows through to the reward pool. So when we say we pay you for data, that's actually what drives the value of that data is brands' advertising budget. So we have two key ways of making money, one directly on services and two on commissions on lead generation and use of data from the platform.
So again, coming from a crypto background, it seems common sense that you'd pay the users for their data, right? Because the whole point of these crypto companies is kind of to slowly give the value back to the people creating the value in the first place. So that totally makes sense. And I do love the business model of getting paid once you have provided value. I have services like an agent that goes out and renegotiates my flights and make sure I get the best price, and then I pay a percentage of the money they save. Or I have an agent that goes out and contests my real estate tax every year, and then I pay whatever cut of that. So with so many different opportunities that are win-win like that, where you can get the customer's data, plus you can save them money, how do you decide kind of to go after more opportunities or to stay with your three core pillars and just focus on making those the best they can be?
Yeah, no, great point and great question. And that's something we think about a lot internally. And by the way, just on your point on the crypto side, the mechanism by which we actually earn revenue from brands and transfer that reward around is something called the future token. So the future token is what's used to reward people, and that's what's used to actually pay for leads as well. So and then the intersection of the supply and demand there is what governs the value of that token. So that is absolutely the ecosystem that sits behind this, and it's incredibly easy, simple to use. We're abstracting a lot of the crypto stuff away. The token's actually issued by a foundation that we work with in the Bahamas, but it is a crypto rail and a crypto lever that governs that. Back to your back to your point a moment ago. And sorry, maybe we can cut this out. What was the start of that question again?
Yeah, just basically, there's agents out there who can go and work on your behalf in many different ways where you get paid once you provide the value. So how do you decide to focus on your three pillars compared to finding all these other ways you can like save people money and collect more data?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that with the power of this technology, it is really easy to try and be everything to everyone. And at its core, the real value differentiator here is 360-degree comprehensive data. So when you have that and a properly trained agent and proper security and proper privacy and all of that, you have the most valuable thing in the digital world as of today. So where we really think about how we actually deliver this out to market, we're on a Nano Cap podcast here, so clearly we're still a reasonably early stage company under 50 million, is really going from the highest value verticals and expanding out from there. And so, we're already deep in the auto space. So some of our first lead gen opportunities are in the insurance space and in the auto refinance space. It's a very nice, tangible hop over to get into the home space. So whether that's from the mortgage side and we can optimize those payments, it's a nice evolution from the auto insurance side into the home insurance side as well. Mortgage refi is one of the biggest businesses that are out there. Leasing is just an extension of the mortgage space as well, but potentially even an earlier stage to get a renter and migrate them or help use the agent to migrate them into a homeowner. So we really look at where we have traction and how we can sort of build and go deeper and deeper, because that's where it gets most valuable. And those are massive, massive industries, right? So as we think about that, really where we can punch above our weight or where we can play a bit differently is not in terms of helping you book a restaurant or helping you manage your calendar. Some of those things that are sort of leveraging commoditized data, GPS stuff, cookie data, things like that. Where we can really play bigger is where we're using and generating value from complex data. So whether it is a mortgage or an insurance document or a telecom contract, we do a lot of work in that space as well. So that's kind of how we think about it. I think we will end up doing those sort of simpler use cases, but that's not our competitive advantage. So we're really starting with sort of those bigger things, both from put your telecom contract in and we can help you find a different one, but also those things are complicated, right? It's just a good utility to say, hey, when does this expire? When do my discounts expire? What am I paying here? Are there any weird clauses in this mortgage? Like just using that sort of core AI utility where I got a crack in my windshield, am I covered under my insurance policy? So there's just a large utility bonus on that side, and that's a little bit how we think about what verticals we tackle.
And so a perfect user in your head, they sign up, they attach all their different policies, mortgage, like you said, telecom, etc. Everything kind of comes back to them and they say, hey, we found 5 different places where we could save you some money. Kind of then what? Once you've kind of passed them on to someone else, do you expect or want a user to sign in once a month to see if there's new features that they're allowed to? Is this something where you email them being like, hey, there's a new feature that we think would be helpful with the data that we have based off of you? Or is it something where you just check the app every 6 months, kind of update any sort of policies you may have and then check back again the next 6 months? Like, how do you want the user to interact with your company?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a good point to clarify as well. Monetization and connecting for a new insurance, for a new refi, for all of that side is a great feature of the app, but the core utility is based around a consumer experience. This is something that saves you time. This is something that can save you money. This is something that put all of your stuff in one place. We're trying to create that feeling where think about insurance. You know that you're probably not optimizing. It's in an attachment in your email somewhere. You know that at some point it's coming up. They're probably going to call you and be like, "Hey, it's in 20 days." You're just like, "Just do it again. Keep taking my money." This feeling of, oh, you found it in an email, you dropped it into the agent, and it's literally 2 clicks, like you attach a picture to a text message, and something is now on your side monitoring and watching that. And that's the really sort of the feeling that we're getting. So, I use it all the time for, I was traveling in Italy. I take pictures of the wine labels that are on there. Any service record that I have, anything like that. So we have engagement rewards for people coming back and using it and leveraging it. It's proactive to poke people when expiry dates are coming up, when things are happening, on an ongoing basis, and when you're leveraging this for payments and optimization on a monthly basis. So all of your budget information on a month-by-month basis, you can ask questions on that stuff. So it really is like the big chunky things are obviously the big monetization event, but this is a total personal lifestyle management type of agent. So it really is the more you put in there, the more value you get from it. And again, you're not putting it into some black box where it's off out into the world. You're putting it into your own private vault, and then you're generating that value from it. In fact, we've seen the users so far. When you're doing it on a monthly basis and optimizing your loans on a monthly basis, you're checking in on a monthly basis. When we're able to reward people on a more frequent basis, and you're starting able to make it a fun, cool user experience on the agent side, you're starting to see a lot more of engagement as well.
I can totally imagine. So got a lot to be excited about with kind of all the tailwinds behind you. How do you personally kind of just like, I don't even have to ask what gets you excited every morning, what gets you out of bed, but yeah, how do you personally stay focused? How many hours are you spending a day or week just keeping up? Like, let alone like actually getting to do anything productive, but just like keeping up and trying to figure out what people are going to be working on next and which way the business is moving, so that, or the field is moving, so you can follow it. Like, yeah, tell me kind of just what does your kind of week look like, trying to divvy that all up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's, it is, in a way, I'm kind of lucky because I've been working in insane spaces for at least the last 10 years or so. And crypto does the similar thing where in crypto bull markets, the gold coins are falling, and you got to get your product out there, and it just moves so quickly that you can spend all your time keeping up. And also, you run into this framework of, okay, well, another person did this, so like, oh, they're the winner, and that's just not the case in these sort of transformative markets. Like the total addressable market from the world shifting to digital assets, and even more so in the world shifting to this sort of agentically driven commerce, is basically unlimited. The advertising market is 1.2 trillion. The AI agent market today is 8 billion. The amount of interest that gets spent by households is between $3 and $4 trillion a year. Precisely zero of that, except for what we're doing, is sort of driven by agents today. So it really is a mix of, you need to stay aware and stay relevant. And obviously, when things like the AI.com Super Bowl ad come out, it's like, all right, people care, or the OpenClaw saga that happened before. It's really cool from okay, we're on the right track. People really do care about this. People really want these agents that can do something. And then on the flip side, when companies like Tuyo start putting insurance policies through ChatGPT, and you see the investor market go, okay, we got to take $30 billion of market cap away from the insurance brokers, and something similar happened in the real estate side, a week afterwards. Okay, investors are really paying attention to this space as well. And so it really is sort of finding the niche, finding the lane, finding the verticals that we're good at, finding those really real world solutions and problems that people have. My stuff is everywhere. How do I help or stay organized and save time? Hey, I don't even understand what I'm paying here. So how can I use this technology and just make it easy, click a couple buttons and save a bunch of interest? Those kind of things that you're really bringing it down to, just like this is annoying in the real world, and I can do it a little bit differently. And sure, there are other, there's some really cool technology coming out in all of these brand new things. Some of our differentiators are a little bit more, we're connected with the enterprise. We have some of those more chunky, tangible use cases. And so just making sure that we're staying focused on delivering that, making sure the UX is great, finding the value proposition, and ultimately maintaining consumer trust at scale, because that is the easiest thing to lose in the AI world.
Well, I usually wrap up with asking people where they think they're going to be in about 5 years, but I honestly think it's just kind of a waste of time to even ask you, because the next 5 months, who knows what's going to happen. And we got a big crypto bill about to get passed. We got all this other stuff going on, that all these tailwinds behind you. So I won't even ask. I will end with, though, Alex, if people want to learn a little bit more about your company, about FUTR, they want to download the app, where should I send my audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So FUTRcorp.com is a website. Everything sort of filters through there. You can follow me and FUTR on LinkedIn. We're big on there. We're just starting on the X or Twitter journey. But those are the two key places. The app will actually be in the App Store in the first week of March, so people can find it there, and they can link to it through the website, as well as a web platform and a web version. And just on your point of where the next 5 years is, I truly think that people will never search for any product ever again. Everything will be driven by an agent, and you will not even have an agent engaging directly with companies. You'll have your agent and the company's agent just battling it out at machine speed. You get the best answer, you get the best outcome. The company gets the best outcome as well. And we're finally going to be divorced from the sort of manipulative advertising that we've seen for hundreds and hundreds of years, where you buy a certain type of beer because it makes you look cooler or feel cooler. So I think we're just in the first inning of some really, really cool, gigantic consumer shifts. But I am concerned that we still are using the same data model that we've been using for the last 25 years, where you opt into an opaque terms and conditions and don't understand what you're doing, and all of your stuff goes away. Now we've made it way more powerful with a lot of these modern AI technologies as well. So it is the time right now to put consumers and users back in control of their data by paying them, and ultimately by giving them better experiences by having a more fulsome set of data. So I'm choosing to believe in 5 years we'll all own and control our own data and have these awesome AI agents that are out there kicking ass for us.
Well, Alex, I love the passion, love the message. And for those of you still listening, please remember to subscribe and review. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Will.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not provide financial, legal, or any other advice. The information is not investment advice or any offer to buy or sell any securities or to make any investment. The views expressed by the guests are their own, and any reference to third-party products, services, or information does not constitute an endorsement therefor by NanoCap Podcast or its affiliates. The NanoCap Podcast express disclaims all liability for any individual views